we have a load of some of the most beautiful exotic wood that you can find in Costa Rica. But as always in Costa Rica, things are a little bit different because you see, today we have this massive load of wood and it needs to go there. What we have is a failure to communicate. That's a problem that you're going to have on almost every job site. Welcome back to the set of We're Building a House in Costa Rica, and we're going to show you exactly how we do it. Today, we're trying to find out what are we going to do to get this truck up there. And it's a common problem in Costa Rica, a failure to communicate. So it's important to really be thinking ahead when you have your contractor on site to understand, well, geez, Alan, why can't this truck just drive to the job site? Well, you see, we're in Costa Rica, and you have to remember that the roads here are not going to be like most other places in the United States or Canada. Well, we're going up these mountain roads and these hills, and a lot of times, even in some of these gated communities, well, the roads are narrow. They're not as big as other places, and so this big, huge truck, there's no way it can make it up this hill because the curves going around the mountain is way too narrow. So what are we going to do? Find out, but first, don't forget to join us for our next live relocation event where you'll get to speak to all of the experts, find out everything that you want to know about relocating to Costa Rica. Hey, if you can't make it to the next event, no big deal. Schedule your free 20-minute phone consultation so that you can talk to one of our experts so that you don't have problems like we're having today. Find out everything from A to Z. And now it's time for you to join me for an action-packed 7-day event where we learn everything you need to know about living in Costa Rica. When I do build or buy a house, well, should I bring all of my furnishings over, bring my vehicle over, or should I buy? Everything that you need to know from health insurance, taxes. Well, it's time for residency. What residency program are you eligible for? But you won't be stuck in a classroom. We're going to have time to enjoy some of the local tours. You'll have plenty of time to network with the experts while they're here. Spend a full week asking questions. It's an action-packed event. Take a moment to register right now. Rooms are going fast, so register early so that you can attend this life-changing event. We're going to have an awesome time, and we're going to learn a lot of things and have fun. I can't wait to see you for a jam-packed 7-day event at Rios in Costa Rica. All right, I hope you join us for this live event. We're going to have so much fun. Not only are we going to learn stuff, but we're going to have a lot of activities as well. It is going to be a jam-packed week. But back to the job site. So today, obviously, we've got to get all of this wood to the job site. Well, this truck would have no problem going up the hill. It just can't go around those curves. They're way too tight and the road is way too narrow for a truck this size. So today we're going to have to get a truck much smaller to come down here, unload the truck onto the small truck, and then up the hill. However, these are some things you need to think about when you're ready to build your house. Getting a truck here is really not a problem. Now we've got to wait for the truck. But obviously, it would be so much easier if that truck came down here with a forklift and we could just pick up our load, put it on the small truck, strap it down, and to the job site and back. About an hour, 2 hours, we'd have the whole truck unloaded. However, you have to understand that Costa Rica is limited on supplies and really, depending on where you're at, much less. So today, Since we didn't know that the trucks was going to be coming on such a huge truck, well, now we're scrambling around to find a forklift, and it looks like we're not going to have one. All of the forklifts for this area are taken. So we could have to wait several days, several hours, and we just don't have time for that. So we're just going to have to use manpower. That's right. We're going to have to unload all of this wood by hand, one piece at a time, put it on the little truck, take it up there, unload it by hand, and come back and do this. It will probably take us the remainder of the day, and this wood is extremely heavy. It's very dense, it's very good wood, and we're going to be talking about why you would want to use this wood in another video. But today, we got to knock out this problem and get it up the hill. Remember, everything takes longer in Costa Rica, so we sat around for about an hour waiting for the other truck. But the truck finally arrived, and our crew immediately started transferring the exotic wood over to the smaller truck. This will take some time, but we have a great crew and they're used to getting after it. As expected, it took a lot of trips and all day to get this wood moved up the hill. However, one of the good things about living in Costa Rica is manual labor is cheap. By the end of the day, our exotic wood was pretty much piled on the job site. Now we'll have to start sorting it all out, stacking it on our temporary wood racks until the woodworkers can begin working on it. At first glance, some of this wood looks rough. And it is, until the woodworkers start cutting, shaping, and sanding it. Look at how beautiful this piece is after it's been worked a good bit. Our crew has been steadily working on this wood for over a month now. The majority of the wood on this job site is called Mora, and it will be used for our floors. It's a very dense, extremely durable, and resistant to decay and insect attack, which makes it a very good option when building your house in Costa Rica. This is important to know because of Costa Rica's tropical climate. Termites are just about everywhere, except in the very high elevations of Costa Rica. Every house I've rented in the past 9 years has had a lot of termite damage. And that's because the most popular option for building a house is the softer and less expensive wood that termites love to snack on. The majority of the wood we're using is the yellow Mora wood, but we also have some reddish colored wood that we'll be using for the walls. I'll give you more details about both of these exotic types of wood in another video. When we get the exotic wood on site, it's called rough lumber. Nothing is exact, and it's roughly cut to usable lengths and widths. Hence the reason it's called rough lumber. Our crew starts off shaping the sides of each piece, which simply means, in our situation, getting the sides as perfect as possible to having a smooth and 90-degree angle. Shorter pieces of this wood can be milled on the table shaper, while the longer pieces are being milled with a hand shaper. Prepping this rough lumber and turning it into usable, beautiful pieces of wood takes a lot of time from an experienced woodworker who is highly skilled in his craft. He needs to constantly check his work, measuring to make sure he's on target and cutting away only what is needed. Then the wood goes to another guy who uses a circular sander. He starts off with some really rough sandpaper and continues sanding and working down to a finer grit to achieve a really smooth and beautiful appearance. When they're done, this rough lumber really looks amazing, and you can see the beautiful grain of this exotic wood. Any imperfections like cracks and holes will be filled in with clear epoxy, and this will add to the overall beauty of this wood. The end result is to get this wood level and 90 degrees on each side, so that when they lay all the pieces down on the floor, all of the edges meet up nicely. This house will not only be beautiful, but built to last. Make sure to schedule your free 20-minute phone consultation so our professionals can help you with your house build in Costa Rica.